Welcome back, everyone. So today we have a fun, easy craft to do, and it's really simple, and I like to do it. It also has a little bit of writing that you can do as well if you want. If you don't want to do the writing, it's also a really cute craft to do without it. So it is still winter, even though it is January, and that's okay. Some places it is still very cold and snowy. Where I live, it is not. I live in Southern California, and it doesn't get snowy, and it does not get as cold as other places, but it's very cold for us. So I thought it would be fun to do a little snowman craft. And I was thinking about it because one of my favorite books that I love to read each year is called Snowman All Year. You've probably also read Snowman at Night. There's also Snowman at Christmas that I love. But it's what the snowmen do. This one's about what they do at nighttime, and we all go to sleep in this one. What they would do throughout the whole year if they didn't melt. Kind of like Lola. So I love these books. I think they're really cute. I really love the illustrations. And in the back of this one, which is something really cool, you go to the almost last page of this book. So this is Snowman at Night. And you look over here, which most people probably wouldn't. It actually has things to look for throughout the story that as you're reading, you can go back through and find the hidden pictures, which they are in there. They're hidden very well. But it is a fun activity to do with these books. So again, these are both by Carolyn Bierner, and it's really fun to do. Like I said, I like to read it, especially at this time of month when it's starting to warm up a little bit some places and maybe our snow is disappearing. So our craft today is going to be a cute little snowman. But what I like about this snowman that I'm going to make is that he's not really just a full snowman. So I've actually done snowman before. I'll show you one that I've done before. This is a little snowman looking up, but just pretty similar. So if you like this one, it's kind of similar to how I would do it. You're just going to place things in different areas. And you'll notice that my snowman does have a scarf that's going to be different. This one, I also, when I did it, there is white crayon to make it look like it's snowing. Again, it's going to be very similar to what we're doing, but a little bit different. So our snowman today is going to look something like this. So he is, like I said, he has the body, we have our head up here, the nose, he has a scarf. I did add an arm, you guys can see. And this is the writing I was talking about. It's an acrostic poem, and I will go over that in a little bit. But I thought it would be fun because it makes it kind of an interesting snowman. And again, you could do this without the writing here. And it just kind of looks like part of the snowman. So if we were to take a picture of the snowman, but we only see part of him, which I thought would be fun. So we're going to be working on that. Again, here's a sample of another one that there's no poem, but again, you could put the poem, you don't have to, up to you. And it's on darker paper. The fun thing about this one is that you can kind of change a few of the things in here. So you'll notice that I had a purple scarf. This one has a green scarf. The one we're doing today, I'm actually going to do a red scarf. The other thing you'll notice is that you can change the color background. I like to do blue because I like to look at it like it's the sky. And again, like we're taking the actual photograph of it. You can choose a different color. I've done it on black, done it on all different kinds of blues. And I'm even choosing a different color blue today. So you get to kind of make it your own. So let's go ahead and get started and gather all the materials we will need. All right, so we are going to want our background paper. Again, mine is a different color blue than the other ones I showed you. I like doing blue, again, to look like sky. You do not have to do it. Yours could be whatever color you feel like. You are going to also need 2 of the white cuts, and remember, you can find all the correct sizing in the link below and follow along and do this with me. So I have 2 whites. One is a rectangle, one is a square. You're going to need 2 rectangles for your scarf. They're going to be the same color. As you can see, this one I am doing red. My other ones I did green, I've done purple, I've done all different colors. It's your choice. I also have a long skinny brown strip for the arm. I have an orange rectangle for our nose, and then a very skinny black rectangle for the eyes. You could also draw this on, but I feel like the eyes, when we cut it out, it makes it look a little bit more special. The other things we are going to need are, of course, scissors. You're going to want a glue stick, and if you are doing the writing portion, which you can do all different ways, you're going to need one of our writing papers. So there are different ones you can choose from. They all say the same thing. There's 3 to a page, so you only need one of these rectangles. So you can see the font is a little bit different for each one. These ones you can color in, and then there's this one that you don't need to color it in, you can just write. I'm gonna do one of my color one-ins this time. I'm gonna actually do this one. And if you're doing that, you're gonna need some crayons. You might want some crayons to also add some details to our snowman. And you'll probably also want a pen or a pencil. Remember, I like to use pencils sometimes too if I make mistakes, I can always erase and go back over and later with a pen. Okay, so once you've gathered all your supplies, we are going to get started. And again, as we do this snowman, remember, there's really no right or wrong way to do it. It's art and you get to make it how you want. Your snowman could look different than my snowman. My snowman all look different every time I do it too. So really no wrong or right way to do this. All right. I'm gonna set aside my background paper for later because I don't need that yet. What we're gonna do is start building all our different pieces. I'm gonna start with my white pieces and we're gonna start with our square first, okay? What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our square and turn it into a circle. And to do that, what we do is we're gonna cut off all 4 corners make those corners into triangles. So we're gonna take it and you're just gonna cut off a corner. Doesn't cut all the way, pull it 1, turn it, 2, 3, 4, okay? And you can see here are my triangles. There should be 4 because I cut off 4 corners. And now you guys can see like a stop sign or an octagon. Octagon or a hexagon? Octagon. And we're not quite there yet. I'm doing it this way because my circle I'm going to make, you'll notice it will stay about the same size as the square I had before. My next step is I'm now going to go on my 8 points and I'm going to do exactly what I did on this, and I'm going to just kind of cut a straight line to cut them off. So you can see I have a little triangle right there. I'm going to turn it and do the same thing. You're going to notice it is looking rounder. You'll still see some points. So we're going to do the same exact thing and go through, and I just cut off. And each time I do it, you're going to notice I cut off less and less. You might still have some points. You can always go back and fix those. But I'm pretty happy with mine right now. And as you can see, it still is pretty big, which is why I cut it that way. So I'm going to set this aside with my blue paper and grab my rectangle. So for this, we're going to be making the body, which normally you would have 3 circles, right? Is how you make a snowman usually, is you make 3 balls of snow and stack them. So one's really big, medium, and small. For ours, we're only seeing part of our snowman over here. So I'm making my head, and then I'm going to make the next part, which is going to be like the middle section. And to do that, I am going to do only part of it, almost like how we did our circle cut, that one, but we're going to actually make it like a hill on one side, kind of oval. So what you're going to do is I'm going to hold my rectangle so it's nice and tall and skinny, and I'm going to cut off that top corner, and then I'm going to turn it and cut off the other corner. So I cut off 2, okay, and then we're going to do the same thing where I'm going to cut off those. Okay, you can see it's starting to get rounder on one side. And then we're just going to trim, make it more round looking. And if you want to do the whole snowman, so you don't want to cut him off like mine's cut off over here. Do you see how I cut off part of him? If you want to do the whole snowman, what you can do is just do the same thing and we'll make an oval. But if you're only doing part of him, you don't have to do all sides unless you want to and you just want to practice. All right, so let's see. That's pretty good. Again, if you see any big points, like really sharp points, you can always just trim it. But I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm going to set that aside. My next step I'm going to do my triangle, my nose. So I'm going to grab my orange, and what we're going to do is again take my rectangle nice and tall, and what I'm going to do is start at my bottom corner, and I'm going to go to about the middle of this and just cut. It might not be perfect, and that's fine. Okay. I'm gonna flip it, and we're gonna do the same exact thing on this side, and this side's a little easier because I'm just gonna try to go to where I cut in the middle last time. So you now have 3 different triangles. I don't need those, so I'm gonna set them aside and put my other one up with my other pieces. Next thing I'm gonna do is my long piece of my scarf. Mine is red, yours might be a different color. But you should have 2 rectangles that are the same color. One is short, one is long. I'm gonna take the long one. We're gonna take it and fold it in half. So now, if you match them up, it should be about the same size. What I'm gonna do with my folded one is this is going to be the tail of a scarf with the part that hangs down. So up here, we're gonna be doing the parts that hang off. And what I do is I folded it. I'm gonna do it so the fold, the part that doesn't open, is away from me. So the part that opens is by my belly. It's facing my belly. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut off one corner on the top, again where the fold is, flip it over, and cut off a corner on the other side. Should still be together because it's folded. And we're gonna do that where we're gonna round it out. So I'm gonna cut off my points, straight across. All right, and then I'm gonna do it again just to really smooth it out. All right, so it's pretty smooth now. And again, you can see how my scraps are not very big. So now if you open it, it might not be together anymore, and that's fine. Or it might be together with like a really little piece. Mine's still together. If it's a really tiny piece like this, all you have to do is hold both and just gently pull, okay? So another thing you could do, you can either leave it like this, or what I like to do is hold them together. You could also do this while it's still connected. And on the open end, I'm gonna just cut straight pieces. I'm not cutting anything off, I'm just cutting a line. And what this does is it makes fringe. So now I have my 2 tail ends. I'm done. Okay, the next step, our middle part of our scarf. So this would be the actual part that we would wrap around our neck. And it's normally not super rectangle because it's cloth, it will fold. So I like to make it more oval shaped. So all we're gonna do, it's very similar to our circle cut, and it's like what we did on the body part. We're gonna cut off triangles on each corner and then just keep trimming until it is more round. Next up, I'm going to do my eyes. So it's a very tiny rectangle that is black. I'm going to take and fold it in half to make a square. What we're going to do is make the eyes. So now I have a square, and we're going to do the same exact thing we did with that first shape, which is we're going to turn these into circles. So with it folded, keep it folded, you're going to cut off your corners and make that circle. One thing I will say is when we are doing folded pieces and cutting, especially tiny ones like this, hold onto them with your fingers because they will fall apart, and then you might not be cutting both pieces evenly. So just hold on to it with your fingers. Take your time, it's not a race. Yep, mine fell apart. I'm pretty happy with that. If there's any edges, like this one has some pointy, I'm just gonna trim it. Right, last step for cutting. We are going to take this very skinny rectangle. You are going to fold it in half to make a shorter. Okay. And cut on that fold. You can set aside one of them. Now this one I'm going to fold in half again. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is going to be the stick arms. Again, I'm gonna cut on that fold. And you can either fold it in half again if you want to, or you could even like keep one of those and then fold this one in half and cut this. Up to you. All right. I have all my pieces cut. Next step, let's build. So, I gather all my pieces and my glue stick. Our first step is going to be to do the body and the head. I like to have my paper here too to kind of see where I want everything to be. I'm not going to glue it down yet, but I like it to kind of figure out where I want everything to be. Actually, I think I'm going to do my snowman on this side. So I want it like that, I think. So I am going to take my glue and I'm going to put some glue right here just to connect these. Once I'm ready, I will put glue on the whole back of this so I can glue him down. My next step I'm going to do is put my middle part of my scarf. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it right there. I'm just going to do a line of glue. And then figure out where I want. I think, so I've always done it where my arm is on the back side, which you can do. I think today I actually want to do it where my arm goes on the front. However, I'm going to figure out where I want these pieces. So I like to use these pieces as like parts of the stick, you know, when you get a stick and it has different branches. So I'm going to glue that down first. And I like to layer and then figure out where I'm gluing because then I know which order I need to glue things in. Because if I am gluing pieces on top of other pieces, it helps to know what pieces need to be glued where. The fun thing about the stick is you guys can kind of make it however you want. There's really no right or wrong way to make your stick hand. So I'm imagining that my snowman, again, that I'm only going to be seeing a portion of my snowman, like this one up here. So when I'm putting my stick, I'm imagining that the rest of his body might be bigger. So I'm going to put his arm down here, I believe. And again, you can do this on the back. Today I'm actually going to do it on the front because I have not done that yet, and I think that would be fun. That's really cool. So actually, I'm going to do my nose and my eyes. I'm going to be doing my fringe last because I want to put my writing on and I want to make sure my scarf doesn't cover it. All right, your nose and your eyes. Again, you get to decide where you would like them to go, how you want them to go. You can see how you face your nose can change how your snowman looks. Your eyes. Really up to you. Kind of changes though when you change where they're placed. So I am going to put glue on the back, and I know not all of this will be glued down. I'm not positive what parts will be, so I'm going to cover most of it with glue. And if there's pieces that I need to add more glue to when I'm done, I will. I'm going to put it down. And you can decide how far over you want him, how much of him you want on the paper. You guys will notice that I do have pieces hanging off. And that's okay. I'm going to be trimming it when I'm done. All right, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Again, once I'm done, I notice there's a part like right here. I think I want to glue that down just a little bit. I can always add glue to it. So, let's put glue on the table. Okay, glue stick wipes off, don't worry. I'm going to put my glue lid on because before I do the last step, I want to do my writing. And if you get glue on him like I just did, it's okay. So I'm going to set him aside, which is good because I want him to stick down before I cut him off. I know we're going to cut him, but it's okay. And my next step is I'm going to do my writing. I am doing one of the poems where you color in the words, but I will do that last. So on my last snowman project I did a poem with different things that my snowman might do at nighttime or during the year. Because like I said, it goes along with our snowman during the year. So what are things that my snowman would do that I like to do? You could do that. You could do what your snowmen do at night. You could even just do words that remind us of snowmen. So it's really different ways. The fun thing about this type of poem is you have to come up with a word or a phrase that starts with that same letter. So if I'm writing a snowman, my first letter is going to be S. So I got to think of something that would start with an S that goes with the type of poem I'm going to write. I think I'm going to do just adjectives and things that reminds me of snowmen. So I'm going to do S. I'm going to do smiley, because usually snowmen are smiley and they're happy, right? Okay, so I finished my poem, and I'm going to glue it down right here. So my poem says, again, these are things that remind me of snowmen, or that I think of when I think of snowmen. Mine says smiley, because I just always think of them as happy. They're never alone because they're outside with all the different animals and everything. Outside, because you don't really put them inside, right? And then my son's favorite movie when he was a baby was Frozen. And so all I ever think of when I see snowmen is warm hugs, because Lola likes them. Well, there's many different types, so we see different kinds. Especially if you read these stories, you'll see a lot of different types of snowmen. They're amazing listeners. We like to sit and listen to you, and they always need hats. Like, they just seem happy with their hats. All right, so I glued down my poem. And now I'm going to put my last part that I need to glue, which is my scarf. And I waited because, as you can see, if I were to do it like this, which I wanted to do, it would cover my poem that I did. So I'm going to do it kind of like that. And I'm just going to glue right there, and then put another dot right there. Put this on top. Okay. And with this, with the fringe, you can kind of bend it. Another thing you can do is you get a pencil and just very gently kind of roll it up a little bit. It makes it stand up a little bit. So you just take the ends of your pencil and just roll your pencil and keep the paper on it. See? You can make it look like the scarf is blowing. The last step you're going to want to do is flip it over, and you're going to see all our pieces that are hanging off. So what I do is I'm going to take my scissors, I'm going to follow along the edge of this paper, my colored paper, and I know it's kind of scary. We're going to just trim our snowman. Okay, turn it, and here we go. You might have a little hanging off, and that's okay. And then you flip it over. You ready? This is the fun part. Isn't it cool? Kind of looks like you took a picture and we only see part of them. The last thing that you can do, and you don't have to, is I like to add just a few details. So I like to get a darker orange, or different orange, and I like to kind of add some lines to my carrot, because if you were to look at a real carrot, you're going to see that they do have lines on them from when they grow. So I just kind of add those lines in, add some detail to the carrot. You can also get white, and I like to add lines, almost like little C's, to my eyeballs, so they look shiny, so they look like real eyes. Yeah, I'll make them look more alive. You can also get your black, and you could actually draw a smile if you want. And again, these are things you can do. You don't want to top that off. You're a snowman. You decide what you want. Mine's like his mouth is kind of hidden by his scarf. The other thing you can do as well is you could add details to your scarf. So if you want to make it stripes, you can. So that is completely up to you. You could also add some buttons on his belly. You can add whatever you want to add. It's your snowman. You do what you want to do. Okay, and there we go. I hope you enjoyed making your snowman, and I hope he turned out, or she turned out, just as cute. You could also draw hats. You could add a hat on, and again, you could do a different type of poem. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you have a room full of some happy snowmen. Be sure to follow along so you can join and do other fun crafts and activities that we do here.